loss. Right.
Amen.
Amen. Let's move on. A high court sitting in Makurdi, the state capital, has ruled that Tiv men do not offer their wives to visitors for sexual pleasure, amusement, or any other immoral act. The state chief judge, Justice Maurice Ikpambese, delivered the judgment against the whole world after a suit filed by the Apex Tiv socio-cultural organization against the Tiv Area Traditional Council. The association went to court to seek some relief following the statement by a former Big Brother Naija housemate, Venita Akpofure, that Tiv men offer their women to their friends for sexual pleasure. Akpofure has since apologized for making that comment. Many didn't think, I can't remember that this case went to court. No, it was very important, though.
Yeah, the NGO, Mdzough U Tiv, was particularly pained about the flippant manner the Tiv socio-cultural group, the umbrella Tiv socio-cultural group, the Tiv Area Traditional Council, handled the matter. They felt that they ought to have done better than that. And their whole goal in going to court was to get the court to make a consequential statement based on research, based on investigation that would emphatically lay to rest the argument as to whether Tiv men offer their wives to their friends for sexual pleasure whenever they are visiting them. It was a huge moment of elevated falsehood from Venita Akpofure. Venita knew in her heart that she was lying. She was married to a Tiv man. So the question people asked was, okay, before your divorce, was your husband offering you to people to sleep with? Because I don't know what came over her. So everybody who has been to Benue State knows that it is not true. There is no Nigerian race, there is no Nigerian tribe that offers. We used to hear it about Eskimos and there's no Nigerian tribe that offers its women to people for sexual pleasure. Not in this country. At least I should know as a historian. I should know. Such things interest me. Beyond even reading for to pass exam, such things interest me. I knew she was lying, and I knew she would be resisted. So when they rose in a wave on social media to attack her, she apologized. But to the NGO that took this matter to court, they wanted a court of law to make that pronouncement that what she said has no basis in history, is not factual in any way. And they've achieved their aim. Now, if you feel that, the judge, because it was the chief judge of the state that even handled the matter. Now, if you feel that the chief judge was wrong in the judgment that he handed down, okay, you can go and appeal. I don't see anybody appealing this kind of thing, because the nonsense that Venita said, I've not had anybody that validated it. I say, yes, I lived there. I had friends who did their youth service in Benue, and someone had lived in Benue. They never said that thing ever happened. So it was clear that she was speaking from her mind, a dirty mind. And sometimes they try to over-impress, You put people in a house, they are forced into conversations, sometimes conversations that are needless. Look at what Sheyi too said. And in the end, Sheyi, because it will hurt you once you step out of the house, people remember.
Think this brings some clout.
No, you can't lie against the whole race. The Tiv are among the 5 biggest tribes in Nigeria. You can't lie against the whole race and you think that that is clout. What kind of clout are we talking about? I mean, people do all kinds of nasty things. You sit in the studio and say absolute rubbish that suggests that your education is limited. You now think that, okay, that is what will give you clout. Which clout now? I mean, so I'm happy at least they succeeded in putting her in her place. She should have come out to tell people that, okay, oh, I married a thief man. Our marriage was fruitful. We had children, but in between that time, this my thief husband was always giving me out to his friends to lay.
Was doing it willingly.
And I never raised a hand. I never complained. I was enjoying it as I was being offered, as they were making me to do alejo for their friends. She didn't say that. Because people said, for somebody married to a thief man, is either
must have
she was made to do it, or for that to have come out of her mind. But anyway, she's apologized, and I believe that she will never open her mouth to say such a thing again. And now it's been put to rest. It's a court of law has pronounced that the thieves have never in their culture offered their wives to their friends for pleasure. And if anyone wants to take the risk of going to Benue State to see if he could be lucky to find someone who will give his wife to him to go and minister to, you know those their hosts. Their hosts are usually much bigger than your own. They will smash that hole on your head. It is in Aljana that you go and tell the story.
Doctor, what's your take on this?
Well, I think it's good that some of these myths are being made open now. Because if this judgment didn't come, there are a lot of people who believe that is the norm. Though no one has come to say, yes, I experienced it. So it's what has been the story for so many years.
Because I heard this is like a 5-decade-long misconception.
It's just been there. And nobody has gone to challenge it. Nobody has come out to say, yes, I went to Benue and this man gave me his wife. Or the man was not even home, but the wife offered herself willingly because it is the norm. Nobody has come out to say that. So I think it's good. Like we've always said, the best place to resolve any issue is in the law courts. And this has been done now. But like BK said, I think we should put in place standards for people we put on live TV, especially these reality shows, that this should have ended a strike and should have been thrown out of the house. She shouldn't have been allowed to stay a minute longer, because that would have served as a lesson to others.
It's an act of provocation.
Yeah, you don't go around denigrating other people, not even the whole race. The race as important as the thieves. It's wrong. And if we don't put a stop to it, some of these things will continue.
Right. So, gentlemen, before we move on, what does this also say about the importance of responsible and respectful reporting on indigenous practices? Because you remember when Oba of Lagos and some other Lagos indigenes went so hard on Jade Oshibero when she produced the Gangs of Lagos for the misconception on how Eyo masquerades. So what does it say on about the importance of indigenous, responsible reporting on indigenous practices?
Yeah, a lot of our people don't read. They don't read. They are too lazy to research about people, events. And though until my adult years, I wasn't really coming to Lagos, but I had read a lot about Eyo festival, and it was a festival that people enjoyed taking part in. Eyo is not a festival, for example, where you see people being killed, where people will be bloodied all over because they are being clubbed to death and all that. So, and The truth is, the Southwest is the safest part of our country, and Lagos is the safest state in Nigeria today. I'm saying this is something that I can prove. We get into an argument, I'm ready to prove that Lagos is the safest state in Nigeria today. How many times do we hear that people have been kidnapped? Hundreds of people get kidnapped in a day in some states. Look at Sokoto. There are some local governments in Sokoto where you know that at any time you could be kidnapped. Isa is one of them. Tureta is one of those local governments. Gada, one of those local governments. Many local governments like that in Taraba, in Sokoto, in Zamfara, where you know that if you are not careful, if you are unlucky, you could be kidnapped. They will move into a community and kidnap dozens of people. It still happened 1 a.m. on Saturday when they went to kidnap those school children. You know, how many times do we read about that in Lagos? So to do a movie trying to portray Lagos as a lawless place is silly, to say the least. Because you can't support that with facts. They tell me, oh, they rob people in traffic, this and that. Oh, many people would prefer to be robbed in traffic than to lose their lives to bandits. You will be taken into the bush, they will collect ransom and still take your life. Sometimes they will tell you to send someone to come and deliver ransom. When that person comes, they will release the earlier victims and hold the person who brought the money. This is what we see in Kaduna and other places. You can't compare all of those states with Lagos. So you can't do a movie that portrays Lagos as a city of gangsters. It's futile, it's a waste of time because you cannot support that with facts. Yes, money and cultism. Every society has its own issues. In the South, Akwa Ibom and the rest of them, their issue is cultism. They hardly experience armed robbery. The issue is cultism. Lagos, cultism, or money less, they are a big problem. But in spite of that, it is one of the safest states in Nigeria. And I affirm again that the Southwest is the safest geopolitical zone in our country. Without a shadow of a doubt, is the safest geopolitical zone in our country. And Lagos is at the heart of that. When Lagos came up with the idea of supporting the security agencies with vehicles and all that, other states adopted it. They copied it from Lagos. The social security scheme, they copied it from Lagos. So people can badmouth Lagos as much as they like. They cannot support it with facts.
All right.
Talk is cheap. But let's look at the facts, let's place the facts on the table. They won't be able to defend it.
Right. So, Dr. I thought it was important to talk about that because Venita is a celebrity, an entertainer, so to celebrity, quote unquote. Jadi is a celebrity. And with what she said, for instance, many young girls would have gone ahead with that narrative.
Yes, that's why, like Biko said, it's also good when you read some things, check. Google has made it very easy for us to fact check. The one on Neyo is even quite easy. Anything that you don't do in the cover of darkness, like Eyo, for instance, you can see it. As a young boy, I stayed for a while in the Art of Idumota itself. And we see the peaceful nature of Eyo. Yes, there can be some other masquerades where they beat themselves, but not Eyo. Because a lot of people even think that it's only one masquerade in Lagos. No, it's not. Eyo is really very unique. The one that a lot of us find very amusing is the tall one, Agere. You know? And you see all those ones when they are on the street, they throw their tail this thing on your car. You know, they play with you and all the rest. So we need to get our facts right. Google has made life very easy. And as celebrities should be careful. We shouldn't even portray our states and our country
But do
in
you
bad
think
light.
Google is enough? Because
Google is
last
not
year, a particular Yoruba movie producer, apologized to some traditional worshippers in Osun State for 7 days on Instagram because of how she portrayed them in a movie.
Yeah, that's also fine. Because I'm sure what she didn't want to be
threatening her.
subjected to was the traditional way of handling it and going to court. Like if Venita had been taken to court and fined heavily now, she won't do it again. But now it's just a general pronouncement, which I think we should go past now.